So why did you stay so long, right? I think that's one of the biggest questions when people come out of abusive situations. People want to know, like, if you went through all of that, why you stayed so long? It's like, because it's spiritual, because it's the devil's matrix, because we both was dealing with stuff like Jezebel don't exist without Ahab. That manipulator didn't exist without an enabler. That's where the accountability comes in at, right? What they did to you was wrong, and they are accountable for that, not you. But why you stayed is in you. And if you don't explore it to figure out what it is, what is keeping you in situations like that, you will repeat those cycles over and over and over. You will continue to self-sacrifice, indulge in other people, working on building them and saving them, and neglecting yourself. And you will call this kindness and love, and you will call this good, right? But it's not. It's not. You have refused to see yourself. The Bible tells you to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And if you are consistently putting yourself on the back burner, always neglecting you and putting others before your need for validation, you're not loving self. So you can call it loving your neighbor, but is that really what it is? You're not loving anybody because you're trying to figure it out. And that's why it's so easy to get caught up in manipulating relationships with narcissists or Jezebel spirits, right? Marine spirits, because you codependent, because you won't sit with self, because you have to figure you out, what's important to you, who God created you to be. And if you don't do that, you'll consistently repeat those same patterns. That's why you stay. That's why you stayed so long. Because you couldn't see next. You couldn't see out. Because you're refusing to go to God for vision. As long as you're in the devil's matrix, you can't see. It is when you surrender to Christ and allow him to lead you and guide you that you can see. It's your world opens up, your eyes open up, and you see what you've been living in. You see why you've been repeating the same cycles. You see the spirits that people are operating out of. That is why you stay so long. That is why you repeat the cycle. You see yourself as less than. And the more mistakes you make, the worse and worse you feel about yourself. So the further and further you'll dive head first into sin instead of running to God and recognizing that there's no condemnation in Christ Jesus, right? And going to God and understanding that he's always there. And he always was going to love you and forgive you and be there for you no matter what sins you have committed. Because the road to righteousness is narrow. But until you surrender it all and go to God, you'll keep staying. You'll keep repeating it because you won't see anything wrong with it. Most people don't. When they in it, they don't see anything wrong with it. It's coming out of it. Hindsight is 20/20, right? It's the reason why it's the reason why we say that hindsight is 20/20. Because when you out of something, then you can see all the way up in and through it. But when you in it, you don't usually see your way out of it. So you stay. Because it don't feel like there is a way out. That's why you got so many people in relationships, especially older people, in these relationships they settled for years ago, hate each other. They done made each other life miserable. The kids that they raised miserable. And if their grandkids come around, they make their grandkids miserable. Right? Their families, all of that. Because they hate each other. But they held on to each other. Because Jezebel don't exist without Ahab. Somebody might be a manipulator. and a liar. But that other person is an enabler. And that's just how they is. And you got to love people anyway. You can't throw away what people done did for you and who people done been to you. Those people, right? That's a spirit. And it disguises as being caring and loving. But really, it's gaslighting. Because people don't have sentimental value. They don't. If somebody was nice to you in the beginning and they treated you so good and they loved on you and then it goes away, you can't wait 10 years for that to come back. It's called love bombing. People don't have a sentimental value. The spirit of Ahab is what keep you in enabling relationships. You have to pray and ask God to save you, to open your eyes. You have to surrender. Because if you do not, you'll be stuck in that spirit. And you will disguise it as kindness and love. And you will feel like you're supposed to sacrifice your feelings because you know a little more or you feel a little different. And you're supposed to let these people keep mistreating you over and over and over. Because of who they are. The title that's attached to them. That's what the spirit of Ahab do. That's why the God in the Bible, it tells you that the heart is deceiving and that you have to pray and ask God to give you a clean heart so that you can see these things, so that you can understand what the Bible means when it says do not cast your pearls upon swine, that if people don't receive you, to dust your feet off, to love thy neighbor as you love thyself, meaning you have to love yourself. And if you letting somebody constantly mistreat you over and over and over, you can call it loving them, you can disguise it as loving them, but you most definitely can't say that's loving yourself. And people will use that. They will tell you that. Like, oh, the Bible don't tell you to cut people off. What if God cut people off? Guess what? God got the ability to change people, and he still didn't do it. He gave people free will, and he got the ability to change them. So what make you think it's your job to sit there and try to change them or be their punching bag until they want to change? Not realizing how much you're destroying yourself. Because that spirit of Ahab don't just stop at enabling, right? Because Ahab will enable anybody who benefits Ahab. Because he's chasing after a look, a lifestyle, certain things. Not righteousness. So what choice will you make? Do you understand why people stay so long? Do you understand why you stay so long? Do you understand why it's time for you to get out?